I need you all to come. Let's watch this together. It's an old video. Let's watch it together. I want to make something out of this.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
African in the world, that new African is ready to
Les mauvais maris, les paresseux, les voleurs.
I have a dream today that the Emancipation Proclamation.
Hey guys, and welcome back once again to another episode right here on the stable of Chibike Inspirations. Guys, I actually did miss you guys live and direct, and I feel like giving each and every one of you a very warm hug. Like, it doesn't matter whom you are, whether from the motherland Ghana, any country in Nigeria, as long as you're a citizen of Africa, grab your seat, sit down, relax, take your cup of tea, popcorn, whatsoever you feel like, and let's delve into what we're here for today. Guys, according to the title you've seen, I will be exposing to us the great men from Africa, from the motherland Ghana and South Africa and other countries that have definitely crossed the path of Africa, the continent Africa, impacted in so many ways, making history and waves in the map of Africa, especially from the motherland Ghana. So Ghanaians, South Africans, take the front seat because we've got a lot to talk about today. Yes, I would oblige you at this point, if you're yet to like this video, please, I beg of you, hit on the like button, share this video because I would love more people to know what's going on here exactly. And if you find this space quite interesting, don't make this your last. Hit on the subscription button. It's totally and absolutely free of charge. Exactly. And with all that being said, kindly watch till the end and let's see what we have going on.
I need you all to come. Let's watch this together. It's an old video. Let's watch it together. I want to make something out of this.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Now, South Africans are fulfilling this dream. South Africans are fulfilling this dream. I have a dream that someday 4 of my children will live in a nation where they would not be judged by the color of their skin, but by what? But by the content of their character or deeds. This is exactly what South Africans did to Nigerians, and Nigerians started complaining. And Nigerians now wanted to be judged by the color of their skins. That's why when I heard Very Dark Man say, oh, South Africans, I mean, don't you see, you people preferred white people to your fellow blacks. Dr. Omar Johnson started saying these things. But I've been saying something consistently. Now I'm happy that a greater number of them are beginning to change. Dr. Omar Johnson is beginning to change. Very Dark Man is beginning to change his narratives. You can't keep judging people. You can't keep judging your acquaintance, your fellowship, your reckoning with people based on the color of their skin. Don't tell me because he is black, I have to accept him, irrespective of the fact that his character is demeaning, irrespective of the fact that his character is toxic. I should accept him. You can't come to me and tell me, why would you be accepting white people, but your fellow black people, you are rejecting them, you're abstaining from them? No, this is you becoming a racist. This is true, because you're the one now looking towards the color of his skin and not the content of a character. So you see that South Africans are 100% correct. 100% correct when they were not biased, or what's that word? When they were not biased or very sentimental about, oh, we'll have to allow these people, they are our fellow blacks. Any South African you see talking about accepting a person based on color because he's our fellow black person, he's our fellow, show him this video. I'm pretty sure every one of us accepted Martin Luther King Jr.'s statement. Oh, we thought he was talking about racism. We didn't know upon a day this thing will go. You know the truth. It's not just the word of God. The truth is usually a two-edged sword. That's true. Now, whilst a number of people thought he was talking about racism, he wasn't talking about racism alone. He's talking on the fact that if you're black and I'm black and you don't do well, I can accept a white person more than you. Simple.
African in the world, that new African is ready to
Les mauvais maris, les paresseux, les voleurs.
I have a dream today that the Emancipation Proclamation.
Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? The struggle to dismantle colonial rule cannot be tied to only the lauded well-known nationalists, but also certain individuals who contributed immensely to pave way for independence. It is vital we honor these individuals as their inputs often go unrecognized. Their stories serve as a reminder of the strength and potential of the human spirit, and they inspire us to pursue our passions and make a positive impact on the world. Regardless of the subtlety or discretion of their actions, they too must be mentioned in the song. This video aims to awaken a deeper appreciation for our history and the diverse individuals whose efforts sometimes go unnoticed. George Alfred Grant, also known as Pa Grant, played a significant role in Ghana's fight for independence. He was a merchant and a politician and a founding member of the United Gold Coast Convention, where he served as the first president in 1947. Pa Grant was born on August 15, 1878 in Benin in the Western Nzema in the western region of the Gold Coast, now Ghana. His grandfather was Francis Chapman Grant, the proprietor of the Gold Coast Times and treasurer of the Fanti Confederacy. He received his education at Wesleyan School, now in Fantepem in Cape Coast. He established his own timber firm and became a successful merchant in the timber industry. In 1905, Pa Grant visited Britain and established business connections with major timber companies in Europe and the United States. He opened his own offices in London, Liverpool and Hamburg between 1920 and 1922. In Ghana, he expanded his operations to Dunkwao, Sekondi and Akime Boakwa. In 1926, he was appointed to the Legislative Council representing Sekondi Takoradi. He was also a member of the Aborigines Rights Protection Society that championed the rights of Africans and was influential in many developmental projects, including introducing street lighting and pipe-borne water to Sekondi and Axim. After consulting with R.S. Blay, a renowned legal practitioner based in Takoradi, Pa Grant also extended invitations to J.B. Dankwa and other notable individuals to establish the United Gold Coast Convention on August 4, 1947. The purpose of the UGCC was to work towards self-government. Ebenezer Akojie recommended Nkrumah for the position of the UGCC Secretary General, and Pa Grant paid for Nkrumah's travel expenses to return to Ghana from the UK. After Nkrumah left the UGCC to form the Convention People's Party, Pa Grant focused more on his businesses than politics, but the two men remained in contact. Nkrumah visited Grant 2 days before his death in Axim on 30th October 1956 when Grant was 78 years old. Grant had suffered a stroke in 1955 but never fully recovered from it. Although a flyover in Caprice, Accra and the University of Mines and Technology in Western Region have been named in honor of Pa Grant, his contributions to the independent movement merit even greater recognition. Hannah Kudjoe was one of the formidable forces behind the struggle for Ghana's independence from the British colonial rule in the 1940s and the 1950s. She was Ghana's leading woman nationalist in the struggle for independence and spearheaded women's involvement in politics. Hannah Kudjoe was born in December 1918 in Busia in the Western Region. She received her education at Busia Methodist School and Sekondi Methodist School. After finishing school, she trained as a seamstress and worked in Takwa, where she married J.C. Kudjoe, a manager at a gold mine in the same town. After her divorce with J.C. Kudjoe, Hannah moved in with her brother E.K. Dasen, who owned a printing press and was a prominent member of the United Gold Coast Convention. It was during her time living with her brother that she met Kwamenkrumah, who later became Ghana's first prime minister and led the country to independence. Nkrumah would often stay at E.K. Dasen's residence whenever he visited the Western Region for his political activities. At Hannah Kudjoe's last speaking engagement on International Women's Day in 1986, Hannah recounted how she became involved in politics. She said that Nkrumah was introduced to her by her brother Dasen. Somewhere in June 1947, we received a charming gentleman. He was introduced to me by my brother as Kwamenkrumah, General Secretary of the UGCC. During the day, my brother went out with Nkrumah to address various meetings of the local UGCC branch in town. One day, as they came back, I was serving Kwamenkrumah. He asked me why I have not been attending the UGCC meetings in town. I was amazed by his question, and I honestly told him I thought politics was only men's business. For the next 20 or so minutes, Kwamenkrumah explained to me all they were doing and the importance of everybody, especially women, to get involved. By the time Nkrumah left, my interest was aroused in politics. At work, I began explaining issues to my colleagues, seamstresses, and customers. Whenever I was traveling to visit my dressmaking client, I talked on trains about the need for our liberation and urging people to join the Takwa branch of the UGCC and summoning people together to hear the news of the campaign for self-government. Hannah eventually became a key supporter of the UGCC and an advocate for freedom. When the leaders of the UGCC, also known as the Big Six, were arrested and detained by the British colonial rule for their alleged role in the 1948 rout, Hannah Kudjoe raised funds, mobilized people, and led petitions for their release. It is said that she even sold some of her personal belongings to support the movement. She was a founding member of the Committee on Youth Organization within the UGCC, and when Nkrumah broke away from the UGCC and formed the Convention People's Party, Hannah also moved with him and joined the CPP, becoming the first woman to do so. She served as an organizer and propaganda secretary of the CPP. Hannah was also an active participant of the Positive Action, a movement that organized a series of political protests that eventually led to Nkrumah's election victory and the formation of an independent nation. She inspired massive support for the CPP through campaigns which earned her the nickname the Convention Hannah. After Ghana achieved victory and became an independent state, Hannah Kudjoe founded the All African Women's League in 1957, which later became Ghana Women's League. Throughout the late 1950s, Hannah Kudjoe continued her dedication to social welfare work in the northern regions of the country. She focused on educating women on hygiene and parenting techniques. Additionally, she also initiated various philanthropic projects in the northern regions of the country. She passed away in March 1986. I believe more could be done to honor this national icon than what she has received thus far. Rebecca Naa Dedei, also known as Naa Dedei Ashikinsha, was a prominent Ghanaian businesswoman, political activist, and feminist. She was well known for her flower business in Accra. Born in 1923 in Osu, she spent her childhood in Jamestown, Accra. Following her primary education, she entered the flower business. Her success in this industry made her wealthy and influential, earning her the nickname Ashikinsha, meaning flower in Ghana. She was known for being a major financial supporter of the Convention People's Party and led CPP women's activities from her home in Kokomlele, Accra. As a political activist of the Convention People's Party, Naa Dedei played a significant role in Ghana's effort to gain independence by providing funding and campaigning for the party. She financed and campaigned for Kwamenkrumah's first political campaign, which resulted in him winning the Ashedu Keteke seat in the legislature. It is alleged that her close relationship with Nkrumah was perceived as a threat by rival political parties, which may have led to her untimely death. According to reports, she accompanied Nkrumah to a CPP function in Ho and was served food that she later complained of stomach ache. This ultimately led to her death at the age of 38 from suspected food poisoning. Naa Dedei's image was featured on Ghana's 50 Peswa coin, and some double-decker buses in Accra were nicknamed Auntie Dedei in her honor. But I believe that further efforts should be made to pay tribute to her legacy. Understanding the sacrifices and struggles of our forebears can help us appreciate the opportunities and privileges we have today, and can motivate us to use those advantages to make a positive impact in our country and the world. They serve as role models for how to be active and engaged citizens, and can inspire us to pursue the ideals of freedom, justice, and equality. If you found this video informative and engaging, please consider subscribing. Ottobah Cugoano, also known as John Stewart, was an abolitionist, political activist, and philosopher from the Gold Coast, present-day Ghana, in West Africa. He was born in 1757 in Ejumakon, a town in the central region of Ghana. When Cugoano was just 13 years old, he was abducted by slave traders along with around 13 to 20 other boys and girls his age as they were playing in the field and sold into slavery. They were transported to Grenada. In his work Thought and Sentiment on the evil and wicked traffic of the slavery and commerce of human species, Cugoano gives a detailed account of the inhumane treatment he and other enslaved individuals faced during the journey on the slave ship. Upon arrival, Cugoano was sold as a slave to plantation owners in Grenada. He described his treatment as extremely harsh. Being in this dreadful captivity and horrible slavery without hope of deliverance for about 8 or 9 months, beholding the most dreadful scenes of misery, and seeing my miserable companions often cruelly lashed and as it were cut to pieces for the most trifling fault, this made me often tremble and weep, but I escaped better than many of them. Cugoano was kept as a slave in the Caribbean until he was bought by Alexander Campbell, a merchant who brought him to England in 1772. He was baptized and given the name John Stewart at St. James Church, Piccadilly in 1773. He had a strong desire to learn and taught himself to read and write, which he said became his recreation, pleasure, and delight. In 1784, Cugoano was hired by artists Richard and Maria Causeway and quickly gained the attention of prominent British figures. He joined the Sons of Africa, an abolitionist group that actively spoke against slavery. The group was made up of Africans who had been freed from slavery and were living in London. Many of them had been educated and used their literacy to write to newspapers and delivered public lectures and petition parliaments on these issues. In 1786, Cugoano and his friend William Green played a crucial role in saving Henry Demain, a kidnapped black man, from being shipped back to the West Indies by contacting Granville Sharp, who at the time was a prominent anti-slavery activist. Sharp was able to remove Demain from the ship just before its departure. In 1787, Cugoano, with the assistance of his friend Oluda Ikwenu, published a personal account of his experiences as an enslaved person titled Narrative of the Enslavement of a Native of Africa. He strongly advocated the abolition of slavery and the immediate liberation of all enslaved individuals. Copies of the book were sent to King George III, the Prince of Wales, and other influential politicians, but it was not successful in convincing them to support the abolition of the slave trade. Cugoano was the first African to publicly call for the complete abolition of the slave trade and freedom for all slaves in his book, despite the opposition of King George III and other members of the royal family. Cugoano continued to publish shorter versions of his book, targeting the Sons of African group. The last recorded letter from him, written in 1791, mentions his plans to promote the book by traveling. He expressed the desire to travel to Nova Scotia to recruit settlers for a proposed colony of African Britons in Sierra Leone, where slavery will be abolished. The exact cause, date, and location of his death are unknown, but it is believed that he passed away in the 1790s. Even though Cugoano didn't live to see the abolition of slavery in Britain in 1807 and in the colonies in 1834, he would have been gratified knowing that slavery was abolished. He consistently campaigned for the ending of slavery and exploitation in Africa and promoted Africa's economic liberation and the freedom of its people. He was a proud son of Africa. In 2020, English Heritage erected a blue plaque at Schomburg House on Palmo to commemorate Cugoano.
All right, guys. Wonderful, amazing. See, the thing is, I'm just overwhelmed. I'm short of words because videos like this really keep me very motivated, very inspired to do more and do better. Because if people who have lived pure before our existence, right, did this much and did all this in the freedom fighting, exactly, to make history in the continent of Africa, oh my God, what more am I definitely going to say is my excuse or your excuse? Tell me guys. Now this is an eye-opener, an exposition for us to know that in our own time now that we are living, is our duty and our responsibility to take it upon ourselves, yes, to do the best we can in making things right, by doing things that will live to stand the test of time. So you might not definitely be a freedom fighter or a scientist or whatever, but doing things that are remarkable, that will leave a blueprint, is the ultimate goal. Other than working on the path of evil and negativity, no, that will even bring a bad record. Because just as we have the good record for these people, we also have the bad record for people who have done abominable things. We can really attest to that when it comes to Africa. People who swore upon themselves that they would destroy Africa as Africans. They are there, they have their records, and they've been known for that. But today, these are people that made positive and great impact. Exactly, just like you've rightly heard, based on this video I have reacted to. Now guys, what are your thoughts, your opinion, your input? Because I don't want to break this down all alone or digest it all alone. I would love to know your input, your feedback, your reactions, your comments and analysis right there in the comment section. What do you think of this video? Are you a Ghanaian? How do you find these facts? Are they factual, truthful or not? Let's know in the comment section. Or did you actually experience this? We have people of this age still living. Comment below. It doesn't matter where you're from. Have you encountered any, and who are those in your country that you do have or you've ever had? Leave them in the comment section. Exactly, I know we've got a lot from Nigeria and other countries, but that will be in my next episode. Look out for it. Like I said, we are on a series of exposing a lot of things, people who we have had on the surface of the earth from Africa. Exactly, yes, we will recognize them, appreciate them and applaud them as time goes on, because they have made impact, and that is what the living should do. Celebrate the dead. Okay, exactly, and that is what it is. This is my own opinion, my reaction, my input, my analysis. What is yours? Let's talk in the comment section. And please, if you are yet to like this video, what are you waiting for, guys? Kindly, I beg of you, hit on the like button, share, subscribe, and don't make this your last. And at the end of the day, keeping it real, happy, safe and blessed, right here on the stable of Civic Inspiration, where we say it just the way it is, raw and undiluted, not to demote, demean, demarcate anyone, any citizen from Africa, west, north, east and south, but to expose, analyze, inspire, educate, entertain, motivate, captivate, not just you but your spirit, your soul and your body. And I promise you, you can't get it as a dull moment right here on the stable of Civic Inspirations. I'm keeping it real, happy, safe and blessed until I see you in my next one. Ciao ciao.